Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to look at different ways to spatter in your artwork and look at some like store-bought spattering tools and also some homemade spattering tools and using regular tools for spattering. So generally when you're spattering, you are going for a speckled look, and there are a lot of different ways to achieve this. So first we're going to look at just using a regular brush. So when you're going to spatter with a brush, you're going to want a brush that's going to hold quite a bit of paint, and I recommend a round brush because it just seems to hold more paint. So I'm going to get this wet and I'm going to dip it into some watercolors. I've got a palette over here that I haven't used in a long time, so I thought, oh, why not? I'll use it for this. So we want the paint to be kind of inky. Okay, so I don't think this is quite wet enough, so let's try spattering like that. See, nothing wants to come off the brush because it's not wet enough. So let's give that a little bit of water. Now let's try it. We want to soak up as much as we can. And you can see that gives you pretty big spatters. Now the wetter your brush, the bigger the spatter. So if I wet this more, and obviously the more, the bigger your brush, the more it's going to hold, we'll get a little bit bigger spatters by having it a little bit wetter. So keep that in mind when you're spattering, because if you want big spatters, you want to have a really absorbent brush and you want to have really, really juicy paint. So I do that a lot when I'm doing watercolors, when I want to get kind of like a big background. Sometimes I will just spatter in, like I'll just kind of drip lots of water down. See how I've got those big drops there? And then I will just kind of add paint to it. And that way I can control, or I'll paint up next to it and then my paint can go in the spatter. So there's one way I do spatters a lot, and I do have tutorials where I'm showing that. The owl in watercolor that I live streamed a couple years ago shows that technique really well. So the other type of spatter, sometimes you want just like a fine spatter, like you want a texture to something, and I like to use an old toothbrush for that. So I'll take a toothbrush, when people are done with the toothbrushes, I'll throw them in the dishwasher, wash them, and then I'll put them in my my stash, my craft stash. And what you want to do for that is you want to wet the toothbrush, but you want to load it up on kind of a like a drier cake, because you don't want this too wet, because this is going to give you a finer spatter. So what I like to do, and this does get your hands messy, is I just draw my finger across the edge, and you can see you get a really fine mist. Now the wetter, if I make this brush really wet, I'm going to get a bigger spray, just like I did with the brush. So keep that in mind. The less wet, so if you're getting it just barely wet and off the pan, you're going to get a much, much finer spray. That's still pretty wet. But if you want just like the speckle of sand, you just want that brush barely wet off of a dry cake of color, and you'll get a much finer look. Now, another way to do that, if you don't have a toothbrush, or you just want a little bit, more control, you can use a hog brush like this, or a faux hog. This is actually a foliage brush, which you're meant to kind of tap on foliage, but it also works really good for spattering. See, you get a really good control. It doesn't fling the paint quite so far, which is nice if you're trying not to like cover your entire table. So any sort of like faux hog or hog, any stiff brush like that's going to work really well. I do recommend washing these brushes with soap and water afterwards, because sometimes they grab just a lot more paint than you would typically get watercoloring. Now this is a faux hog. This is a mimic fan, and it's supposed to act like hog, but it's made from plastic. So a little bit more environmentally friendly. We'll load that up, and again I like to go along the bristles like that, and it just gives you like a more straight line of spatter. So if you're trying to get like the spray of water off the top of a break in a wave, that's a great way to do it. It doesn't give you as much as the toothbrush or the other hog brush, because there's fewer bristles. There's not as many bristles to hold your paint. Now these two are actually meant for spattering. So I use this one quite a bit. This one, it will work really well with watered down acrylics or with watercolor. I like to load it up with a brush. So I'll just take a brush here and I find a different color. Maybe we'll do orange just so we have a little bit of a different color. And then I paint it on the bristles. Just like that. So we have a little more control. Now I'm spattering because I'm painting it over my paper. I would do this over the palette, but I just want to show you how I load it up. And then let's see if this is wet enough to get us any spray. So what you do is you hold the little like cork, or sometimes it's a cork, sometimes it's plastic, and you just turn, and you get a super, super fine spray because the paint's not really wet. I'm going to lift that up because I'm not sure if you can even see that. It almost looks like this, the speckle on an egg. Can you see that? Just very, very, very fine. It's almost like freckles. It's so fine. Now, if I want a bigger spatter, I will add, let me just bring my palette over so I can show you. Probably going to smear everything else I have under there. I will make sure that I'm adding juicier paint to this. Because the wetter the brush, in every instance, the wetter the brush, the more speckle we're going to get. But it still does keep, it puts more down, but it still keeps it very fine. See that? Now you could use this in place of using like a spray bottle if you didn't want to deal with having clogging spray bottles, because like if you want to spray acrylic and you want a fine mist, using that and then just rinsing it off when you're done is a lot better than having to clean a spray bottle. Now this one here can be used a couple different ways. It's a little tricky to load it up. This is probably a little bit more customary for acrylic than for watercolor, but it does work with watercolor. These are stiff plastic bristles. So each one of these is like a cord of plastic, okay? So watercolor doesn't want to slip off of this more than like thin down oil paints or thin down acrylics. So, you know, just kind of keep that in mind. Let's see, let's do a different color with this. Let's do blue. Oh, I should have cleaned my brush a little bit better. Generally, I'd make a big puddle and dip it in if it was acrylics, but I don't want to waste a bunch of watercolor because I know there'd be a lot left on the palette that wouldn't pick up into the bristles. And I've actually used this in an oil painting recently. I'll go get a couple examples in a second to show you. Okay, so that's pretty well loaded up. So this one's probably my least favorite unless I'm using oils, but because it is kind of messy. So what I would do is just kind of hit it against my hand. And you get kind of a medium-sized spatter. You could also, doesn't work that well. It kind of works better if you whack it down across like a stick. You get a nice medium-sized spatter. Not my favorite, but like I said, works great with oils because it's easy to clean. These plastic bristles, you can wipe them off really easily, and you don't have to like keep rinsing them in the sink, which I like for oils because oils can be tricky. So I'm gonna come right back with a few examples to show you what I've done with some of these different tools. In this example here, it's an acrylic painting, and I did the spattering with the spattering tool, this one right here. And I used thin down white acrylic to do the stars in the sky. And then when I wanted to do these little clusters, I used the toothbrush and just sprayed some closer spatters. And then I did tap on a few stars inside some of the spatter areas. So it gave me an overall really uniform spatter, and then I could add some more clusters with the toothbrush. So working with a couple of tools together can be really handy because it keeps you from getting a really contrived, like she obviously used a tool for that. Now this one here, I used this spattering tool for. This was an oil painting, and I did the snow with this. So I used thin down titanium white, just thin down with some paint thinner, and I was able to spatter on the snow for that. I don't think I might have added a few dots of snow, but I really don't think I did. I think I got a pretty uniform spatter with that. Now you can also drag like a craft stick or something, a popsicle stick across those long bristles for another spatter effect if you want to. So, you know, just play with the tools and see what you can get from them. Now I also used that tool in this video here, and it was actually a viewer that asked me if I would do a tutorial on how to use the spattering tools when I posted the time lapse of this. It's on my YouTube channel. And so that's what kind of spurred this video on, and I figured I would show different spattering tools while I was at it. So I got that nice uniform spraying the background, and then I did some clusters with a toothbrush, I think, and then I dotted on some bigger stars in front. So again, using a combination gives you a really natural look. And then doing the just a splashing with the brush, that's how I did the spatters there. So I did the spatters in the background here. I spattered on water first, and then used a stiffer brush to do the finer spatters, and then as some of the finer spatters got into the bigger splashes from the big brush, it kind of blended in and gave me that really soft look there that I like. I like to use that technique a lot in watercolors. I use that with ink there, that splashing technique with the brush. And that here, I also splashed with the brush there. So lots of ways to get that splattering effect. I hope you found that helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know down below. But definitely just play with your tools, and that's how you're going to learn the best. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.